They're fearless. There's something electric about the moment you slip into an outfit that just feels right. Fearless. Not right because someone told you it's in season. Not right because it's the same thing your friends are wearing, but right because it feels like you. Like poetry stitched into fabric, fashion is one of the most powerful forms of self-expression a woman can own. It speaks before you even open your mouth. It tells your story in silence. And the best part, you get to write that story every single day. You are not a mannequin. You are not a copy. You are a living, breathing force of emotion, fire, softness, edge, and mystery. Why settle for blending in when you were born to paint your life in color? Your wardrobe isn't just a closet. It's a diary. That leather jacket you reach for when you need to feel unstoppable. The oversized sweater that hugs you like a soft anthem on slow Sundays. The boots that sound like thunder when you walk into a room. They're not just clothes, they're pieces of you. Moments, memories, moods. Some days your soul might feel like sequins. Other days it might ask for denim. Listen to it. Let your style shift with your spirit, because the truth is fearless. Fashion doesn't demand perfection. It demands honesty. It craves the kind of realness that can't be bought off a runway. Fearless, the kind of authenticity that comes from owning who you are, even when that version of you is still figuring it out. Fashion is not about approval. It's about freedom. You don't need permission to wear that bold lip, that unexpected color, fearless, that daring cut. You need only your own heartbeat as the rhythm to your style. And if someone doesn't get it, maybe it wasn't meant for them to understand. Maybe your look today was just a love letter to your past self, or a promise to your future one. We've been taught for too long that we need to dress to please, to impress, fearless, to meet a standard set by someone else. But you weren't made to follow someone else's script. You were made to create your own soundtrack, one where every outfit is a lyric, every look a note, every step a beat. Fearless, there's a quiet power in walking into a room wearing something that feels like armor. Not because it's trending, but because it fits your fire. Trends come and go like seasons that can't make up their mind. But confidence, that's timeless. That's the real statement piece. Called fearless, it doesn't hang on a hanger or wait for a magazine feature. It lives in the way you carry yourself, in the way your chain lifts when you're wearing something that speaks your truth. The fashion world will always try to whisper rules into your ear. It'll try to tell you what color is. In this month, which cut is flattering, which shape is allowed to wear what. But real style is about turning down the volume on those voices and turning up the sound of your own. It's about saying, I'll wear what I love because I love how it makes me feel. Not because it appeared on a runway, not because an influencer said so, but because when you wear it, your confidence doesn't ask for permission. It announces itself fearless. There's bravery in putting on what makes you feel powerful, even if no one else in the room gets it. Fearless. That kind of courage is magnetic. It's not about needing validation. It's about already knowing you're enough without it. Fearless. There's nothing more stylish than a woman who dresses for her own mirror first. Fearless. Who understands that her outfit is not a plea for acceptance, but a celebration of how far she's come and how boldly she walks now. Some of the most iconic fashion moments are born not from conformity, but from rebellion, fearless, from women who dared to choose boots when heels were expected, who mixed patterns and decades like artists with a paintbrush, who wore oversized blazers when the world expected softness, or lace when it expected steel. Confidence made those choices iconic. Not the designer label, not the trend forecast, just confidence. And here's the secret that trendsetters don't tell Yug. They weren't following anything. They were just brave enough to wear what lit them up. Confidence is contagious like that. Use when you choose what makes you feel like the lewdest version of your quiet power. People notice. They might not understand your choices, but they'll feel something shift when you walk by. Style isn't meant to stay still. Just like you're not the same person you were 5 years ago, your fashion isn't supposed to remain frozen in time. Fearless, there's something beautiful, almost cinematic, about watching your wardrobe shift as your life unfolds. Maybe once you dress to be noticed, then to be accepted, and now simply to feel at home in your skin. That's not inconsistency. That's evolution. Fearless, that's the growth of a woman who knows that changing her style doesn't mean losing herself. Was fearless. It means she's becoming more of who she truly is. Every chapter you live through adds a new texture to your style. Fearless. Maybe you started with band tees and messy buns, then traded them in for tailored blazers and red lipstick. Maybe your closet now has a little bit of everything because your story isn't a straight line. It's a winding road, few with high heels and combat boots with silk and leather, softness and fire. Fearless. What you wore in your heartbreak looks nothing like what you wore in your healing. And that's the point. Fashion is a mirror, not just of what you wear, but of who you are when you wear it. Fearless. You're allowed to wake up one day wanting muted tones and calm silhouettes, and the next craving bold prints and sharp edges. Fearless. You don't owe anyone a consistent aesthetic. You're not a brand. You're a human being with layers, feelings, and phases, called fearless. Dressing differently from how you used to doesn't mean you've lost yourself. It means you're listening. It means you're honoring the version of yourself that's speaking the loudest right now. Some of the most meaning-outful fits aren't the most expensive or the most styled. They're the ones that mark a change. Fearless, the first dress you wore after deciding to love your body, the first suit you put on when you realized you didn't have to play small anymore. The shoes you bought just because they made you feel fast again after a season of feeling stuck. These moments of transformation live in fabric, in color, in detail. They become milestones. Style doesn't ask for permanence. It asks for honesty. And being honest means giving yourself permission to grow, to let go, to try on something new, not just in fabric, but in identity. Because every time you redefine what fashion means to you, you're really just getting closer to the truest version of yourself. Underneath it all, fashion has always had rules, unwritten ones whispered down runways and into fitting rooms. Be soft, but not too loud. Be bold, but not too messy. Show some skin, but only the parts that are acceptable. Wear this if you're young. Wear that if you're not. And somewhere between the lines, women were taught to follow the script. But what if you tore the whole page out and wrote your own version instead? There's a certain thrill in breaking the fashion stereotypes that were never meant to define you. Fearless in pairing combat boots with a delicate sundress, in walking into a room wearing something that dares to clash, to sparkle, to contradict every expectation of what a woman should look like. Rules might make people comfortable, but revolution makes them look twice. And there's nothing louder than quiet rebellion stitched into a silhouette that refuses to apologize. You don't have to pick between elegance and edge. Fearless. You don't have to fit into a box that was designed by someone who never asked you how you wanted to feel, who said glitter was only for nights out, who decided power suits belonged in boardrooms and not on brunch dates. Fearless, who told you your body needed permission to wear something daring or playful or oversized or skin tight. Most of those rules were built to make women small, manageable, predictable, palatable. But your style doesn't have to be polite. It can be a storm. It can be a lullaby. It can be anything you need it to be. Fashion becomes truly powerful when it becomes personal, when it breaks away from the idea that there's one right way to be beautiful. You can wear a flower-length gown and sneakers and still command the room. You can mix lace with leather and softness with strength and make it look like they were always meant to dance together. When you step out in something that challenges norms, you're not just dressing differently. Fearless. You're making a statement without saying a word. There's liberation in choosing not to be predictable. What's called fearless, in knowing that you don't owe anyone consistency or conformity. When you break stereotypes in the way you dress, fearless, you're really just proving one thing, that you are the author of your identity. And fashion is your pen. There's a glow there that no highlighter can create, no filter can fake, and no brand can sell. It doesn't come from the fabric or the label. It comes from within, from a place where self-worth, fire, and quiet certainty live. Fearless. When a woman walks into a room with that kind of glow, the world notices. Not because of what she's wearing, but because of how she wears it. Because her presence arrives before her outfit does. Everything she puts on becomes a reflection of that internal power. Fashion has always been visual, but true style is energetic. It's not about perfection, it's about presence. The kind that says, I know who I am, was called fearless, even if I'm still becoming. That's what makes an outfit shine, not the price tag, not the trends, but the energy you bring to it. Confidence doesn't scream. It radiates. And when your confidence is real, when it's earned through resilience, heartbreak, healing, and growth, it turns even the simplest outfit into something unforgettable. You can wear the same black dress as 100 other people, but yours tells a different story when you wear it with purpose. It hugs your victories. It carries your scars. It holds the weight of every version of you that didn't make it to this moment. That glow isn't about how you styled your hair or the shoes you picked. It's about how your spirit stands tall even when life tries to shrink you. Style doesn't start in your closet, it starts in your core. The truth is, no garment will ever matter more than how you feel when you wear it. You could drape yourself in designer or thrift the most beautiful vintage piece, but if you're not connected to yourself fearless. It'll never land the way you hope. On the other hand, throw on something simple, something that feels like home, and let your inner power lead. And suddenly, you're unstoppable. That kind of style can't be duplicated. It's not taught, it's remembered. It's what you've always had inside you long before you knew how to dress it. Your glow is your signature, called fearless. It's the invisible detail that turns heads, not because you're trying to be seen, but because you've already seen yourself fully, boldly, kindly. And once you've done that, everything else becomes decoration to what already shines so fiercely from within. Style has never been just about what we wear. It's about how we live in what we wear. It's the echo of our confidence, the rhythm of our growth, the boldness of our rebellion, and the soft power of our presence. When fashion becomes an extension of who we are, not a mask, not a mold, it transforms from clothing into clarity. Every piece we choose becomes a reflection of a moment, a mood, a message we're ready to send into the world. And the most powerful thing a woman can wear is something not stitched in fabric, but something born in fire, her sense of self.